Hi guys, this is Eric here. It's Friday, December 20th, and I'm here for another video about our government. So let's get into it. So I did a video yesterday about the continuing resolution. CR means that's a spending plan, but you won't hear it about a spending plan, so it's called continuing resolution. Mike Johnson, who is the the Speaker of the House, and the House is the House of Representatives, is trying to get a budget done so that the government would not shut down. The first one that they said they would keep talking about, this first plan had a lot of things in there, and it was a bipartisan plan, and they were going to vote for it to pass it yesterday, so that the Senate could vote it for today. That didn't happen. Why? Because before the first vote for Plan A, Elon Musk, who is not an elected person, an elected representative in any part of the government, or nominee for any part of the government, put a Twitter post saying it would be better for the government to shut down versus this expensive bill. That's what he said. That's what he put in on the post. Go ahead, and if you have a Twitter account, go ahead and then search Elon Musk and look at his post yesterday, and you will see that. Which means he's like, okay, I don't like this bill. You need to go back and do a thing. And then a few minutes later, President-elect Trump said the same thing. He doesn't like that. And on top of that, that's actually what I was about to say is about Plan B. So let's finish Plan A. In Plan A, there is a $100 billion disaster relief. $100 billion disaster relief. Part of that will replenish FEMA, because before Hurricane Helene and Milton, FEMA's balance was $29 billion. Just for Hurricane Helene, FEMA paid out $9 billion. And then, of course, more went to Milton disaster and other issues, of course, going up the coast, because things happened in the Northeast as well. So that was part of it as well. That was part of it. Let me close this. The other part of that plan were disaster relief for the farmers. One thing that you can think about, remember in the election, on the Republican side, they were talking about groceries and everything. You know, you can't find eggs, or the eggs are so high and everything. Well, there was a reason for that. And of course, some people don't think about that, or think it's just a lie, that the price of the eggs were so high because of bird flu. That was one reason that the prices went up, because they had to kill the chickens to stop the bird flu going through the farmers and everything. And it actually jumped from the chickens to the cows. And as of the news yesterday or day before, there is one person now, I believe in the state of Georgia, who now has bird flu in their body. That was as of anywhere from 24 to 48 hours before. So the farmers actually need aid as well. Also in Plan A, there is also something about the pharmacy management, making them more strict than anything else because of the opiate thing, and making prescription prices going high. But guess what also was in Plan A? Congress was going, particularly the House, was going to go ahead and get a COLA, C-O-L-A, a cost of living adjustment. They haven't had a raise since 2009. And the reason they haven't had a raise since 2009 was because of the recession. Then COVID came. And so here we are right now, 15 years later, they want a raise. Now the bill didn't say anything. I didn't read the actual bill. CNN's website had the bullet points of the bill, of the budget bill, and they said that they found out that the starting salary for the House of Representatives is, wait for it, and let you set up yourself to receive this, $174,000. Yes, their salary, starting salary, is $174,000. And they're going to give themselves a COLA raise. Again, don't know what the percentage is, but that was in Plan A. And there were some other things in there about their insurance. Congress was mandated to get their insurance through the Affordable Care Act. And of course, the GOP was mad about that. Well, now, part of that bill is that they can come out of the Affordable Care Act and then go into the federal health insurance. I believe it's called FHII. That's another thing, because they won't have to pay for their insurance on the FHII, but the FHII, I believe, is more expensive than the Affordable Care Act, or ACA, or some of you will call it Obamacare. So those are the major bullet points in Plan A. So before they were going to vote on that, the House, Mike Johnson decided to pull it because of Elon Musk and President-elect Trump. Now, I'm going to step away from Plan A and talk about that. Again, I'll remind you, Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet, is not an elected representative. Therefore, he does not have any power. Influence? Maybe. He owns Twitter. He owns Tesla and SpaceX. Maybe. And President-elect Trump does not have any power yet. While he has been elected to be the future president, he does not take his oath until January 20th, 2025. Therefore, he has no power over anything in the government until he takes his oath on January 20th, 2025. Please remind Mike Johnson, President Trump is not his boss. Even when he becomes president, he is still not his boss. Why? Because the legislature, which includes the House of Representatives and the Senate, is a separate branch of government. The president And remind you, the current president is Joe Biden, and the present vice president is Kamala Harris, are in the executive branch. And then, of course, the court system is in the judicial branch. So we're not talking about the courts right now. We're talking about the executive branch and the legislative branch. Someone needs to remind Mike Johnson, who is the Speaker of the House Speaker of the House or House Speaker, that he is the top dog right now until another Speaker of the House gets put in place. Because that could be a thing too. President-elect Trump even said, if Mike Johnson can get this done, he will still be the Speaker of the House. But wait, there's one more other thing. And I'm not going to hijack this video about this, but Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, the notorious MTG from the 14th District in Georgia, she put out a survey to her constituents asking them if they would like to have Elon Musk be the Speaker of the House. Yes. If they would like Elon Musk to be the Speaker of the House. And it can, because according to our Constitution, the Speaker of the House does not have to be an elected official. It does not. That person in that position does not have to be an elected representative. Generally, the Speaker of the House comes from someone in the House of Representatives from the party that has the most representatives at that time in the House of Representatives. Right now, it's the GOP. The last Democrat was Nancy Pelosi. So I'm going to set that aside just to let you know that. This is a circus. It is a circus. But let's go back to Plan A. So because Mike Johnson forgot himself, he took Plan A off the table and was trying to get Plan B set up based on what President-elect Trump wanted. President-elect Trump now wants the debt ceiling to go away before he takes his oath. Do you know what that means? In my mind, it means no debt ceiling, which means spend however much you want to, and there are no consequences. Again, I believe since 2009, somewhere between 2009 and coming forward, the United States has been spending more than they have been taking in. And of course, everybody who has a budget knows if you spend more than what you're taking in, you're going to be in the red. That's debt. So the United States does have debt, and they almost became default. They almost defaulted their payments because of something like this, and it was a budget thing. Because of something like this, the GOP was going to say, we're going to shut down the government, and the government was going to be defaulted because we can't get what we want. Yes, that's called gamesmanship. Gamesmanship. And so, because of that, when they decided he took it back to the House of Representatives floor. This is Plan B. Elon Musk said, get rid of the children's cancer research amount. It was in the billions. He said, get that out. And they did. They took it out. And guess what? It wasn't the Democrats who jumped off. Before it even got to the floor, the GOP representatives said no. No. Now, that was last night. Thursday, December the 19th. That was last night. By midnight tonight, if they don't get a plan done and it's passed by both houses and signed by Joe Biden, who again, I remind you, is still the president, the government will shut down. And technically, it probably will be shut down because even if the House passes it, the Senate then has to look at it and pass it as well. But there's not enough time for it. So the government may shut down for a few hours. The good news is it's over the weekend. However, you might be thinking about, well, what are the consequences of the government shutting down? Okay, I will answer that question to the best of my knowledge. If the government shuts down, federal employees will not get paid. They won't. And I'm not even going to talk about the people who are being interviewed about this is going to upset people because it's happening right before Christmas. I'm going to set that aside. Federal employees will not be paid. The Capitol Police, I remind you, the Capitol Police protects the Capitol, the White House, all of that. They don't get paid. Our military, whether they're inside our borders or overseas, they're active duty, they won't get paid. Some 10,000 federal employees in D.C. will not get paid, and I can't even tell you how many federal employees are outside of D.C. who also will not get paid. A lot of people are flying for the holidays. The TSA that annoys everybody, guess what? They're federal employees. They're under the Department of Homeland Security. Yes, they are. So if the government shuts down, one of two things will happen as far as TSA and some of the other federal employees. They'll be furloughed, which means you have to still work without pay. And I can tell you, some of them have already said they're not doing that. They're just going to go ahead and strike. People like me who are retired and are under Social Security, there will be nobody to process our benefit, our checks. People who are under the WIC program for children, those checks will not be sent out. IRS agents, the VA, the Social Security benefits, the Center of Medicare and Medicaid processing your benefits and everything, that will be shut down. And of course, all of the people who support the House of Representatives, the Senate, the executive branch, the judicial branch, all of those people who work every day. Sorry, the government is shut down. Do not come to work, or you're mandated to work with no pay. Yes. And the ironic thing about this is not the first time. It is not the first time. And now add another layer. If it gets passed, this is only funding the government through March 14th. Through March 14th. And they're saying they're doing this until March 14th so that once President-elect Trump gets into his place, his agenda could start smoothly. And this is not part of this video, but his agenda is based on Project 2025. 925 pages that all you have to do is open Google and type in Project 2025 and just read that on your read that on your leisure. Good thing that you can search for something. Just put in if your grandparents have retired, and they are on Medicaid, or they're on Medicare, and they're taking Social Security, just type in Social Security. Just type in Medicaid, and it will take you to every paragraph that has that. And just read it. Just read it. Just read it. It's not good news, but just read it. So right now, there is a Plan C. Mike Johnson made an announcement that there is a Plan C now. We don't know what's in the Plan C. That hasn't been put out yet, not that I can find at this time. It's 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the on the East Coast. I don't know what that is, but the Democrats are now telling him, look, we have a bill. It's bipartisan. Go back to Plan A, bring that to the floor, and we'll pass it. We'll pass it. And of course, me and everybody else, and I want you to find out who your representative is, and send them emails, messages, phone calls, voicemails, and ask them to explain, based on the fact that they make $174,000, why they need a raise. Me personally, somebody needs to teach them how to use a budget. All right, so I'm going to stop this video now, and I may do an updated in a few minutes, and we'll talk later. Merry Christmas to you, and hopefully, if you have any friends who are working at the federal government, that hopefully they will only be shut down for a few hours. Okay? Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, and I'll see you on the next video.